Jim! Hey, Jim! Wake up!
Well, who are you?
Oh, hi! Well, my name's Chris, and I'm not your wife, and,
What do you want?
Well, I was rather hoping to ask you to press my button today.
You're going to what?
Well, yes, you see, I've got this machine right here.
Now look here, what's that?
Oh, don't worry, it's just the randomiser. Think you can figure out how to operate it?
Well, you must depress the button on the control console.
That's it, you've got it.
I wish I knew what this is all about.
Oh, don't worry about your wife, by the way. Marina's taken her out for a bit of a girls' night. I merely put on one of her nightgowns and got into bed with you.
God, so that explains it.
Yes, indeed. Right, let's see what we have here. Okay, well, today's episode is Terrahawks and its first strike. Suppose I should get out of bed and watch it, really?
Stop.
Sorry?
I was just hoping to get to know you better.
Ah, well,
You certainly got a lovely voice.
Well, aren't you sweet? But still, duty calls.
Oh.
So, welcome back to Terrahawks on the Randomiser, and I was just thinking there as the credits drew to a close there, how much like the Joe 90 opening theme, the opening titles and the music of Terrahawks just makes me happy. For a lot of the other Anderson shows, you know, for Stingray and Thunderbirds or whatever, I get excited, maybe there's a bit of nostalgia in there, but for Terrahawks, as well as the excitement and the nostalgia, it's such a happy piece of music, and a happy show for me in many ways. And anyway, we're opening with Kate re-recording Faster Than the Speed of Your Love. This was something I always found odd with Kate. I get that they had like 20 songs recorded for her, but very often you would see her in the studio re-recording yet another version of a song that we already know she's recorded before or she's performed live before, but
how was it? Yeah, well, it was
That's it for me.
they were always good to hear again. I love the songs in this show. I love the quality of the songs. This is
right for me.
15, 20 consistently good quality songs from Kate, and it's such a shame that so many of them are just
Fantastic, sensational.
lost to history, unfortunately.
Yeah, but how was it for you, Stu?
Stu's having a bit of a moment there.
Great.
He's also got a lot of prop
Well, it's been a long
prop food on his desk.
night, Stu.
A lot of sandwiches,
Night, Miss Kestrel.
and a Coke can,
Thanks.
You're not.
strategically positioned so as not to display the Coke logo directly to the camera.
By the way, Stu, I think you're pretty fantastic.
Fantastic.
Ah.
Oh yeah, right, got it. Fantastic, yeah.
And again, we know we've had subtle hints up to this point that Stu has a bit of a fondness for Kate, and sometimes it's nice to see it reciprocated as well.
Madam, I must have closed my eyes for a moment or two.
And Hudson was asleep.
That's all right, Hudson.
Home, madam?
Where else?
So, leaving Anderbur Records after a fairly late night, and who's this following them? There's a pair of shadowy figures in a red car.
Like the donkey, Hudson. We seem to have a tail.
Indeed, madam. I have observed their presence for some time.
I think I'd better report it to Hawk Nest.
It's nice as well. We have a nice sort of suspicious, ominous opening. We're not starting on Mars with a bit of silliness up there.
Keeping their distance.
All right, Kate. Take it easy and drive home.
But as we'll ultimately discover, the Martians, for once in this episode, weren't actually plotting anything.
Also, don't like it. Stand by to launch Hawkwing.
10-10.
0,
Sir,
come with me. I may need you.
you only have to say the word, and I's with you every inch of the way.
In Hawkwing? Where's he going to sit?
This is a 10-50.
Oh, okay. They've got a little Zeroid seat behind Tiger. And there's stock footage of Hawkeye in the, well, they call it the egg section of Hawkwing, don't they? Pretending that he's still part of the show, which of course he barely is by this point. So Hawkwing is off.
Separation in 10 seconds. Stand by.
10-10, Hawkeye.
Who are you again?
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh, I like Hawkeye, as many of you will probably appreciate. I never quite understood what happened with him in the second series. He's there quite prominently in the first episode of Series 2, and then this and Runaway, and I think that's it. He's gone otherwise. But again, a nice building element of mystery in this one, as Hawkwing approaches Kate's little mountain hideaway, and again, the fact that it's all taking place at night makes the effects look that much more convincing. And this is one of those episodes where, I think I may have said this before, but that as Terrahawks developed, it got increasingly tongue-in-cheek, but there were times when that made the more serious episodes and moments work much better, and this is a prime example of that.
On the lights, sir.
No. Kate, where are you?
About a mile from the house.
Just drive straight up. We'll be waiting.
Tiger and Zero have already got there. I guess Hawkeye's gone home. Because, it's not like he could have been of any use here at all.
Tiger?
Over here. Leave the lights off.
I've just taken my clothes off and I'm kind of embarrassed.
He must have stopped at the foot of the rise.
Yep, he stopped.
Tiger. Listen.
Chopper.
An XK-20.
Ooh. Looks a lot like Colonel Johnson's helijet, actually. I suspect it's the same model, and why not? I mean, you only need it for that one shot.
It's K-20, and it's down.
Move the men in.
Oh. So the car is now
I
signaling.
thought I saw some movement to the right, but I can't be sure.
Who are they, Tiger?
I wish I knew.
Oh, and the house is surrounded.
All right, you Terrahawks. You're surrounded. We're coming in.
And they are too. They're coming up in the lift. Tiger's got his gun ready. And there is, well, our pair of shadowy men from the car.
Guns. Put them down. You might hit one of these grenades. That'll make a mess. So, this is the famous Hawk Nest. You must be Ninestein. I'm General Cord. Rip to my men and my friends.
All right, General Ripcord.
Yeah, there's the slightly serious tone of the opening has kind of been thrown out the window there.
I told them, give me 24 hours. I'll find Hawk Nest. What in Sam Hill is this?
But I like this idea that the military have been assigned to track down Hawk Nest, and Cord is so convinced that he's done it by finding Kate's mountain hideaway.
Yeah, you're not so bad.
And Cord has a bit of a fondness for...
Saw.
Not just a fondness, but an instant acceptance of what Zero is. Oh, you got a sentient robot. Oh, okay, I'm on board with that. He's a nice guy. Mention of the world president there.
The NASA representative, sure. We'll meet up there on that excuse for a spaceship of yours.
Ooh.
You're out of your mind.
My orders are to assume command of the Terrahawk organization as of now. We meet on Spacehawk.
So they've dragged Johnson up to Spacehawk.
My command?
Oh, well, let's say someone's been put in over your head on a, hopefully, temporary basis.
How temporary?
Who knows? A week's a long time in the power game.
Yeah.
And I do like what they did with Johnson throughout the course of the series, from developing from a basic just authority figure into something a bit more realistic. He's very often, although he's Tiger's superior essentially, he finds himself on the defensive with Tiger.
I'm a hot bath man.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh.
Come on over here. Got something to show you.
So everyone's on Spacehawk.
Take a look out there.
And what do we have here? A fairly large and impressive spaceship.
What is it?
Big White One. Commissioned last month, the most powerful space carrier ever built.
Why wasn't I told about this?
Because it was a secret military project.
And what do you intend to do with this big white one?
Eliminate the threat of Zelda.
Aha, there it
My
is.
intention? To blow that alien complex and everyone in it off the face of Mars.
And it's a lovely model, this big white one. But there we go, we are halfway through the episode. We haven't even met the Martians yet. But we are now leaving orbit.
5 fore and aft engine rooms.
And even though really all we see of this ship is the bridge, populated by 3 puppets. It's
Orbit.
Yes, General.
General Cord and 2 other officers. The fact that it's so completely dwarf Space Hawk, you really do get the sense that this is a huge, huge ship with a lot of people on board. Nice soundtrack on that, those engines as well.
You there, Ninestein?
I'm here.
Follow Big White 1. That's if you can keep up.
Ooh.
Set a course for Mars.
And these soldier characters look quite fun. I think because there's something about male Terrahawks characters, by and large, they look quite... Their heads look quite solid and stocky, and it actually suits these soldier characters fairly well, especially as most of them have got no hair. Meanwhile, Yungstar is dealing with more important matters.
What on Mars was that?
Ooh.
I've no idea, man, grandmother.
Aw.
Someone put explosive in my granite crunchies.
Oh dear. I love that not only are we at this part of the series where Yungstar basically can't do anything without fear of being blown up or crushed by Itstar.
Well, yes, it was you, but the other you.
I also like that he's coming so completely bedraggled and he is smouldering, but also there's smoke coming out of the puppet's mouth as if that bomb went off inside his mouth,
Mother.
which is fairly horrible, but also quite in keeping for how cruel Itstar is to Yungstar.
What do you see in your amazing crystal?
2 of Earth's scans, spaceships approach.
The Terrahawks?
One most certainly belongs to that accursed clan.
Yeah, this is just the Martians were minding their own business until Cord decided to get it into his head to go after them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been doing anything this week.
There is little doubt that they intend to attack. To arms! We must defend ourselves!
Yeah! Oh, this is good stuff. Some very good stuff coming up.
Patch me through to Spacewalk.
I love this lowering and raising microphone that Cord's got right next to his chair.
Instigate a first strike nuclear attack on the alien base on Mars.
Nuclear?
Madness! I'm gonna stop it.
Yay! Oh, he's taking... Oh, it's Hawklet. Little Hawklet. Which we saw a couple of times in the second series.
Ninestein's coming aboard, sir.
Take a note, Sergeant, on how to handle a whining pinko weirdo.
Ooh. Well, it seems Cord has some things on his mind regarding Ninestein.
Welcome aboard. Let me show you around a real starship.
Having said that, I do like the look of the bridge and the way the soldier characters fit into it.
Here, Ninestein.
I have to say, though, the way Cord is sat on his chair, it does look a bit like he's sort of
You listening, Sergeant?
on the bog.
Hearing this?
The idea of a nuke first strike is to eliminate the enemy so it can't retaliate.
So?
They have the ability to control matter, bend time. They'll hit back, and hard.
I've met you bleeding hard.
That's a lovely point that Tiger raises there, that takes into account not only Zelda, but certain other members of her clan, these monsters that the Terrahawks have faced over the
On
years.
Earth. I'm asking you to call off the attack.
Negative.
Which, of course, leads into a wonderful sequence on Mars. This is possibly one of my favourite shots of the whole series coming up.
Those who will fly the Zeus already, mein grandmother.
Ah,
Because we've called in those monsters to fly the Zeefs,
a farmer.
to defend Mars.
Mighty Sram, Lord of Felony,
Yay!
Lord Tempo, Master of Time,
Yay!
the delightfully devious furry Napoleon.
Yay!
and, Yungstar. Stand up straight, you slovenly boy.
Oh.
The Earth's scum are attempting to annihilate our base, but we will retaliate in full. Good fortune, my brave Avengers.
Yeah, I love this shot of Yungstar, Tempo, Yuri, and Sram, or the four of them together on screen.
Save your thunder for the enemy.
And this, I found this on first viewing so satisfying, seeing these, well, three of the regular guest monsters on the screen together, because considering the show had like 4 or 5 guest monsters, they were never on screen together except for this episode. It was like almost like they'd never interacted. Now here we have Yungstar and Yuri going out. Okay, we've seen that before. Lord Tempo teaming up with Sram, which is a nice image considering there's not much room in the Zeef cockpit. There's not much headroom for Sram. And also the fact that Sram doesn't talk anymore.
Here comes the enemy.
I do particularly love, though, the Yungstar Yuri team up, where Yungstar would have himself believe that he is in command, and really it's just, you know, we'll do whatever the heck Yuri feels like doing is what we're going to do.
2 interceptors destroyed. Something's locking their guns. What?
Yes, and here we have these interceptors that Big White One has sent out, looking very similar to the Vipers from the original Battlestar Galactica.
Now.
And also, that is driven home in the launch tube that we see them deployed from is basically the same tunnel that you'd see on Galactica. I believe the tube was the model of the tube was mounted vertically, and the vehicles were then sort of dropped. The camera was positioned at the top of the launch bay, and the Vipers were just dropped to the bottom. You'd never realise that unless you'd seen pictures behind the scenes, and this is very cool. Having been blown to bits,
As a master of time, I can arrange an action replay.
Tempo and Sram's Zeef magically reforms. I don't know how Lord Tempo manages to reconstitute himself after he's been blown to bits. You would think that once he was blown to bits, he was dead, and obviously not. But it's also very cool that just for that moment you think, oh my goodness, they've killed 2 of our regular villains. Oh no, wait, they
I
haven't.
like it when they can't hit back.
And it helps make the Martians seem like a credible threat for once, because they are killing these interceptor pilots. That's Yungstar has just murdered
All interceptors are destroyed.
whoever was at the controls of that interceptor.
Launch the second wing.
And Cord hasn't learnt anything. We're going to send out some more. And that one doesn't even get out of the launch tunnel before it gets blown to bits.
Call it off.
Negative.
So it's lovely to not only have the Martians on the defensive for once, but actually to see them, you know, rout their opposition so thoroughly.
We were nearly hit. Do something, Yuri.
Yeah, what's Yuri going to do? He's going to break the guns. And these guns are very similar to the ones seen on Moonbase Alpha through the second series of Space 1999.
All port side guns inoperative. You can't win this one.
There is also a statue on the side of Big White One we saw in a few shots as the Zeefs were overflying it. I'd love to know what that actually was. I'd also love to know,
Damage control reports fires in number 4 and 5 holes.
while all this is going on, where is Spacehawk?
Mars.
But sir,
I gave you an order.
It's like Spacehawk suddenly doesn't exist, because surely if they were anywhere nearby they would be offering covering fire, and the Zeefs would be going after Spacehawk. But it's like, no, we've developed engine trouble on the way to Mars or something. They're nowhere to be seen.
Didn't back down.
Now
I
Cord,
won that football game.
faced with overwhelming odds,
I never lost a game in my life.
is having a complete mental breakdown,
I never backed down. I won that game.
with flashbacks to some kind of childhood trauma.
I'm assuming command, Sergeant. The General's unwell.
And it's kind of an easy way to resolve Cord. Oh, we'll just make him unstable. But for a kid's show,
Gutless wonders.
this is very strange.
Info intelligentsios all trying to put all Rip down.
He's pulled out a grenade.
I showed him. hit him low and hard. I hit him low and hard in the guts. I won that game. I won the game. Ran in a 60-yard touchdown.
And this is consistent with other similar Anderson characters who believe
It's a dud.
might is right. We saw that on General Ward's desk in Avalanche. You can believe that he would have launched his first strike against the Mistrons and been absolutely flattened by their retaliation, the same way that
Tried to fight a war he couldn't win.
that Cord has been
Yes,
here.
sir. Corset.
Because he thought he could just go in and nuke the Martians, and oh,
Bill,
that final zoom in on Cord as you hear voices in his head. He's clearly completely broken.
Eggs. Oh, I was magnificent.
And the fact that it's these four who broke him is quite impressive.
Fortune, I feel the hand of Ninestein in this retreat. Defense is sometimes the best form of attack.
But, Mother, we won.
This time, yes.
For once, we can claim victory.
Victory. We must defeat the accursed clone.
Oh, but for now, at least, they've caused General Ripcord temporary, possibly permanent mental disarray, and that was First Strike. Oh, that is one of the best episodes of Terrahawks. I feel that is a very popular one among fans of the show. And I think it's not only to do with the fact that we saw three of the regular alien monster characters working together, which is a lovely image. It's like, why wasn't the show doing that more often? But also the serious tone of the thing right the way through, which is very unusual for this period of Terrahawks. And to give us the, okay, General Ripcord in Big White One, it's obviously a whole Moby Dick reference thing, but the character comes in very strong, and his breakdown at the end is extremely believable. It's kind of a shame, again, that this is only 25 minutes. This is one that could have been expanded. More of what's here would have been so lovely, because it's so much good stuff here. And if you fancy watching this episode, you can do so. It's up there for free on the Jerry Anderson YouTube channel.